Welcome to Lesson 5 and congratulations on getting to this point. You've learned about the chemical nature of relationships, soulmates, and how your childhood and family can affect your relationship. Now, let's look at the role past relationships play in who you're attracted to. Our past is always with us, fading in and out of everyday lives. Do you think this is something to pay attention to? For a long time, psychotherapy has been firmly rooted in the role of our past in our everyday lives. The psychodynamic approach maintains that by unraveling our past, we can gain not only perspective on our lives, but now we can deconstruct and then reconstruct our narrative about who we were and why we became who we are. Or in other words, redefine who we are now and who we want to be. You see, connecting all of the dots makes us whole. While some of us may feel that it's valuable to unearth the days gone by and find out what it may teach us, for many of us, this seems to be an exercise in self-indulgence and of limited value. But the past has a tendency to rear up and sneak into your consciousness, and that will put you in what I like to call the loop of torment. So I want to offer you some guidelines for deciding when it's time to pay attention. First, I want you to remember that endings and grief are the same. With an ending, be it good, bad, or indifferent, it brings with it the psychological process of grief. This is not about the events of the past, but rather about the impact of the ending itself. And all the endings naturally set off a chain reaction of obsessing, the replaying of history, the struggling to make sense of what has happened. That's why I call it the loop. And if these endings are incomplete, if there were cutoffs and unfinished, unsaid words, if the events were pushed to the back burner of our minds and compartmentalized into some box of bad experiences, time to move on, glad that it's behind me thinking, the remnants, the tatters of those experiences can come back to haunt us when they are triggered. Triggered by seeing your ex or struggling in your current relationship the way you have in the past of feeling lonely and depressed, thinking the love you desire will never find you. This screams for closure. Saying what you couldn't say, getting it off your chest, will help to put it to rest. Next, if you've had traumatic experiences, big ones like abuse, war, but seemingly smaller ones like car accidents, the sudden ending of a friendship, or firing from a job, your brain reacts in the same way. See, it's only out here in the world of logic that we measure things, where we say, well, okay, you survived the accident, move on. But it's not working like that. See, it pushes those experiences to the nonverbal part of your brain. As a result, you are left with raw images that have no words, that trigger flashbacks, overreactions that can infect your everyday life. Take someone who is now in their 40s and recently preoccupied with their parents' divorce. Now, even though the divorce happened when they were 12 years old, they're just fixated on it. Most likely, this kind of fascination is tied to something in the present that is triggering it, like being in a new relationship, the ending of one, a new job or challenge. But it can also be about reconnecting the dots, making a more conscious, emotional, and mental line between the past and the present. Often, this loop of the past comes up when we least expect it, when things are actually going well, when life is stable. It is at these times, because things are stable and not preoccupied, that we have the ability to reflect on our past. We have to take the required actions to put the past to rest. When we don't, we are destined to repeat the past and continue a loop of suffering in our relationships. If you suspect that something from your past is rising up because it has never been fully put to rest, it's a good time to take action. Write that email to your ex saying all that you couldn't say at the time, or write it to yourself just to get it out of your head. Better yet, write out what you ideally would like the other person to say to you. If something from your past has been plaguing you, making you hypervigilant, triggering harmful habits and behaviors, flashbacks, and intrusive memories, this is a good time to consider seeking professional help. Sure, my work is going to help you tremendously. I believe that. But I want to make sure that you're more than empowered to live your best life. No, you don't need to endlessly plow back through the events of your past, but new techniques and therapies can quickly get to the heart of your problem and help you put them to rest. Look for professionals who specialize in these kinds of therapy and relationship techniques. Remember, the key is not becoming drawn into and obsessed about your past, but instead to use it as a marker, not only of the state of your current life, but rough areas of your past that your life is telling you that you are now ready to finally put down to rest. So, ask yourself, what do you have to put to rest? I'll see you in the next lesson, and I look forward to seeing what you discovered when you share in our Facebook group. Bye for now.